About 3 hours from Kansai Gaida University, you can find one of the most holy sites in Japan, located at the mountain top, Koyasan. Koyasan has been a popular pilgrimage destination for centuries. In the year 816, a monk named Kukai, also known by his posthumous name Kobodaishi, founded Shingon Buddhism at a monastery complex here, known as Koyasan. Pilgrims traveling to Koyasan could take any of the main 7 roads leading to Koyasan and called these the Koya Nanakuchi. Gatekeepers made sure not a single woman would enter the sacred grounds of Koyasan, as they were forbidden entrance. This prohibition is known as Nyonin Kinzei. Nyonin Kinzei was a common part of Japanese monastery discipline. A woman's presence would be a distraction to celibate males engaged in spiritual study. It also might remind the monks of powerful ties that once bound them to the secular world, to their parents or wives who had been left behind as a precondition for entering the religious life. According to popular tradition, the woman who served as a basic model for Koyasan's gender exclusion was Kobodaishi's own mother, Lady Tamayori. The Nyonin Kinsei did not stop women from pressing closer to Koyasan's summit. During the Nyonin Kinsei, they were allowed to proceed all the way to the entrance gates, of which there are 7. We can only imagine such woman, how she looks down the entrance road into the world she is forbidden to enter. The 2 strongest yearnings of her religious life, which are to speak to Kobodaishi at his tomb and pray before the great Sun Buddha in the great stupa, are both beyond her reach. Unless women pilgrims were accompanied by a man, she could enter by having the man write the woman's name, adding tono at the end to indicate her temporary status as an honorary male. In this way, she might receive spiritual credit for her journey. If the man were to remain overnight at Koyasan, the woman had the option of staying in one of the women's shelters that sprang up outside each entrance gate. These shelters were so-called Nyonindo, or women's hall. However, in most cases, a woman could only turn her back to Koyasan's sacred temple complex and face the massive statue of Jizo Bodhisattva that sits in meditation just outside of the gate. Jizo is assigned to protect all travelers, both in this world and in the next one. Among the excluded women, a degree of sisterhood built up, and soon a path was formed connecting all 7 Nyonindo. This encircling path is known as the Koya Nanaguchi Nyonin Michi, or Woman's Path to the 7 entrances to Koyasan. It is often shortened as Nyonin Michi. In front of the only remaining Nyonindo nowadays, which is at the Fudosakaguchi, a little shrine is dedicated to the founder of this very first Nyonindo, Kosugi. She was a young woman who, after living a life full of hardships, was saved by Kobodaishi. She then became a nun and opened the first Nyonindo to look after the women pilgrims during the time of Nyonin Kinsei. Kosugi is now venerated as Kosugi Myojin, a guardian deity of Nyonindo. A remarkable picture of Akuno Shizuka can be found inside the Nyonindo. Shizuka-san is thought to have been the first person, either female or male, to have been born within the precinct of Koyasan. In 1876, before Koyasan had lifted its Nyonin Kinsei, her mother secretly entered the valley to visit her husband, a forest worker, and unexpectedly gave birth. This Nyonindo also houses a great Sun Buddha. The sculpture of Dainichi Nyorai is the Nyonindo's primary object of worship. Dainichi sits with his hands resting upon his lap, the right hand placed on the top left. This concentration mudra is most appropriate for a woman's hall, for it expresses, among other things, the female energy that gives birth to the phenomenal world and oversees it with compassion. Sitting to the right of Dainichi Buddha is the queen of Nyonindo, the goddess Benten. She is easily Koyasan's most powerful woman as goddess of wealth, of beauty and learning. She is an embodiment of the ideal female, the best of mothers. This Fudo Sakaguchi Nyonindo also marks the beginning and the ending of the Nyonin Michi, which stretches about 17 kilometers along 57 points. It symbolizes the forbidden woman's status and allowed female pilgrims a chance to make offerings and feel the spiritual energy of the mountaintop temple complex without actually entering. In 1872, the new Meiji government ruled that all of the nation's sacred mountains must be open to pilgrims of both sexes. Koyasan, however, opposed and ignored this until it finally lifted the ban in 1906. Today, more than 1 million women pass annually through the gates of Koyasan.